Let's break down real estate content education and marketing that creates clients right now in 2022. So I have been talking to a ton of my coaching clients about what is the content right now that we should be doing on social media, YouTube, blogs, just really in conversation with our friends and family out socially. What is the content that could create a client right now? So let's take a look at that. The first thing I want to say is Tom Ferry mentioned numerous times that there is some consumer behavior research that shows that the average buyer and seller, there's a flight to quality. A flight to quality? What do you mean by that? Meaning that the buyers and sellers are seeking the better agent right now. Now, this is fascinating. Most of you might be aware of this, but if we really look back to 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, what we were all a little bit concerned about in the real estate industry was that buyers and sellers were starting to not see our value, and they were going with just, the flat fee broker, or they were going with the Redfin buyer's agent that would just open the door. And so, well, what's changed, my friends? Well, it's really, really clear that the market is hotter, but it's also harder than it's ever been before. Prices are at record highs. So the amount of money on the line today for buying and selling is astronomical. So inside of the challenging times, it makes sense that the average buyer and seller is looking for someone who can demonstrate that they have expertise, knowledge, and competence. So how do we take advantage of that, my friends, with our content, marketing, and education, your next video, your next social media post, your next blog post, whatever? Let's dive into how this works. So I'm going to break down what I see as the opportunity with buyers and also sellers. And I'm going to give you an influence strategy of how to communicate the message effectively. So let's dig in. Let's start with the buyer opportunity. So step number one is, can you identify and explain a problem or the problems that buyers are experiencing today? Now, let's talk about this explaining the problem. So the most famous business consultant in the world, Mr. J. Abraham, he said, quote, "If you can explain the problem better than the prospect or the customer even understands it, then you will earn respect from them." That's interesting. Can we explain the problem better than they even understand it? So what I've learned is if you can explain the problem, you get more respect, you get more trust, and people are now open to hearing your solutions. That's fascinating, really important communication strategy. There's a new quote that I've been paying attention to, which is, "A problem well explained is half solved." What a great quote. So, with that said, my friends, if we take the two simple problems for buyers that we all know that everybody talks about all the time, which is the problem of low inventory and the problem of high buyer competition in the offers. These are the two biggest problems. My challenge to you is, well, how well do you explain the problem? Can you explain the problem better than the average buyer knows it? Can you explain the problem better than the average agent in your marketplace? Now, why am I bringing up the other agent in the marketplace? Because if you want to create content that creates clients, then that's the secret. So if the average agent right now, let's take the buyer offer competition. If the average agent is not able to explain to their buyer the challenges of the low inventory and how that's creating high buyer demand in the offer situation, and then you explain that in your next blog post, social media video, and your YouTube video, you explain the problem better than the client even understood it and even their agent explained it. Wait a minute, did you just demonstrate that there's a reason why to be engaging with you versus the competition? Yes. Okay. So let's take this to the next step further. So explaining the problem better than the customer even understands it, and doing that well, practicing that, developing the presentation is critical, my friends, for today's conversations and social media posts and videos and buyer consultations. Now let's go to the next step do you have a solution to the problem? And so what I'm learning right now is most agents have solutions to the problem of low inventory, have solutions to the problem of multiple offer competition, how to win in that environment. But our ability to explain our solutions out into social media, onto YouTube, in a blog post, to explain it to your friends at the next social gathering, that, my friends, is where the win is. So if you can explain the problem and you have a solution set, these are the things I do. I have step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got a low, medium, high risk strategy for having my clients win against the competition. Can you explain each step? Where? Now, think about it, my friends. In your marketplace today, how many buyers right now have written an offer with an agent, and the agent really didn't execute all of the best strategies to be competitive, didn't explain the market at all, and didn't really do a buyer consultation, didn't prepare their client really for the challenges to come. And that person, they don't know, the buyer in your marketplace right now does not know that they're working with an agent that's slightly incompetent. So if you can do a video, social media post, write a blog, have conversations with your friends, and you can demonstrate you have strategic solutions that are solving the problem of the challenge in the marketplace, what are the probabilities that someone today would go, I just wrote an offer with this agent, they never explained that. They never told me about that solution. They never told me about that. They never told me about that. I didn't even know that option even existed. They didn't prepare me for that. Content that creates clients. All right, so are you having fun yet? Now let's bop over to the seller side, okay? And let's dive into the sellers, because I know all of you, you're saying to yourself, Patrick, I don't want another buyer. I understand. The question is, right, are you providing the buyer with the best solutions to have them win? And in the last video that I did last week on how to, you have a solution for the buyer that you wrote an offer with in the neighborhood, they lost out in competition, to go find the next seller, right, in the neighborhood. You have that solution on that video from last week. Please, it doesn't matter if you've got a buyer, if you know what we're doing right now to win. So, but let's get some more sellers. Everybody, we all want to get more listings. I understand that. So, what are the two, let's go through the exercise, what are the two seller problems today? So, I'm seeing two problems. Number one, I'm seeing the problem of the trade up, sell, buy in most marketplaces. They've gained a lot of equity. They want to sell their house and they want to buy the next better, newer, nicer house inside of the same community or inside of the same state, you name it. Well, what's the problem with that, Patrick? Well, I don't know, guys. Have you thought through what the challenges are that they're facing? Can you explain the problems that they're dealing with right now? The reason why they're not calling you right now to list their property is because they actually don't know what to do. The challenge of the sell and buy at the same time is immense. And so And I will tell most of my friends out there, most of you, your solution set and your consultation, your ability to explain the problem, explain the challenges, but also explain the opportunity is severely lacking in clarity and detail. Also, compassion and empathy, right? So my coaching clients all know this because Carly and I, my wife and I, we have done the sell buy 2 times in a row in the last, I think, 6 or 7 years. So when I thought through strategically how we thought through how we were going to position ourselves, prepare, how we created plan A's and plan B's and plan C's, and we really thought through all of the finance, we thought through all of the risk, and we had in-depth conversation for 6 months before we ever took action. When I realized what I did then I think, and I ask my friends, and I think about what I've said to other people who want to sell buy. I'm like, whoa. The way we're explaining the problem, the way we're explaining the opportunity, and the solution set that we're presenting is so inadequate. Okay, so my friends, level up your game. How do you explain the problem, the challenges, and the opportunities for the trade uppers? What are your best solutions, steps, how to prepare, what to do, how to navigate it, what are the options for them in the transition, and then give them a presentation. Do that on your social channels, do that in a blog post, do that on a YouTube video, and I promise you, you will get one of these phone calls. Hey, name, I've already met with a friend of mine who is a real estate agent, but I watched your content and you talked about this and that and this and that, and they never even really mentioned it, so I'd like to meet with you. What's the other seller right now that we know is having a challenge? The relocation seller, meaning the seller that's in your community right now that wants to relocate, right? But what do we know about them today? They're online. They're on Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, on your guys' websites, and there's nothing to see on their save search, their listing alerts. And when they look at property online at 10 o'clock at night, the property goes off the market within 24 hours. So if I was relocating and I was trying to learn more about the market in that other area, and all I was using was an online tool, would I learn anything in this environment? Would I feel confident to fly over there, drive over there, to go look at open houses, to learn more about the community? No, because there isn't any. And so here's what's happening, my friends. All of the sellers that want to relocate, they are stuck because all they're using is the online tools, and they're not having great conversations with you, the rockstar local agent, who is introducing them to the best agents in those marketplaces to discuss the cost, the prices, the product types, the lifestyle, the community, right? Why do you think all of our YouTube videos right now on communities, what's it like living in, the pros and cons of living in, what to know before moving to, those videos right now on YouTube, why do you think they're getting thousands of views for free right now? It's because that's the content that the relocation seller who's in your marketplace, that's what they need in order to feel confidence, because there's nothing on Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, and on your listing alerts right now. Now, did I just explain the problem better than you understood it? Oh, do you see how effective that was? Did I mention that there's a solution to that problem? Oh, did I earn the right to share with you a solution after I explained and accentuated the problem with you? See, my friends, This strategy, content that creates clients. So let me break down the last thing, which is a content marketing strategy that I'm asking all of my coaching clients to do. And here's what it is. The 1-3-5. The 1-3-5. 1 email a week. 3 YouTube uploads per week. 5 short form social media videos per week. 1-3-5. Now, for most of us, this is way overwhelming in terms of a total amount of content to deliver per week. So what I'm asking you and all of my coaching clients to do is, let's just figure out how to get there, right? My mastermind group had the wonderful Glenda Baker on, and we were asking her about how she's creating so much content, and it was an evolution. She started with committing to 2 short form videos per week. And then it evolved from there. And now it's a daily social media post every day. So my friends, 1-3-5. You're not going to be perfect tomorrow with your 1-3-5, but let's figure out how to get there. And so if you use my problem solution strategy, it is going to create clients right now. I hope this helps, my friends. Next up, I've got a couple things. I got to do a TikTok interview with one of my rock star TikTok coaching clients, Vena Mae Jerbeck up in Seattle. She's got 500,000 followers on TikTok, is creating massive appointments every single week through social media from TikTok. So I'm going to do an interview with her coming up. I also have to create a list of some of the best listing strategies for 2022. So that's coming up too. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the notification bell, share this video with a friend if you can. And then of course, if you haven't jumped on my email newsletter, I'm trying to send one out a week with just the latest stuff so that you have a quick update on all the things, the videos or the content or anything that I'm sharing with all my great coaching clients. Hope this helped you guys. Have an awesome day.